My first DMT experience was an absolutely beautiful and breathtaking experience. You might have seen my first video about it, but my second DMT experience that I haven't yet talked about wasn't near as pleasant. What's up, soul family? It's another day on Starship Earth, and we're sending gratitude into the cosmos. For those that don't know, DMT, aka dimethyltryptamine, is known as the most powerful psychedelic substance here on Earth. And there are two main types of DMT that you may have heard about. There's 5-MeO-DMT, and then there's N,N-dimethyltryptamine, which comes from the bark from the mimosa tree, which is commonly used for ayahuasca ceremonies. But they use the whole plant, and in this case, the compound N,N-dimethyltryptamine is extracted for smoking purposes. And that's what I experienced in my two DMT experiences. While 5-MeO-DMT is known for its powerful ego death experiences, it's supposed to be even more intense than N,N-dimethyltryptamine. And it's known for entering into a dimension of pure white light and pure love, where your ego dissolves and you become one with source. While N,N-dimethyltryptamine is more known for entering into a dimension full of fractals and meeting entities and different kinds of beings. So I've only experienced N,N-dimethyltryptamine, so that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Like I said, in my first experience, I had a very beautiful, heartwarming experience where I met this feminine being that was showing me this tiny molecule. It was showing me the significance that is in every single fractal and molecule in this universe. And it was such a profound experience. But my second DMT experience wasn't as fun or profound. And it actually happened shortly after my first experience. It was about a month after. It was on a day where I wasn't feeling very well. My head was full of energy. I was feeling groggy and lethargic. And for some reason, I decided to smoke DMT that day. I believe I was looking for something to distract myself from my uncomfortable feeling. And that's not a way to start a DMT trip at all. I believe I was looking for something to escape my reality that day. So I was curious and wondering if I could meet that same being that I met before. But really, this was just a way that I could distract myself. And like I said, that's not a way to start a DMT experience. The intention was off. My intention was not to grow and expand my consciousness. It was to distract myself from my own discomfort. My ego was looking for something outside of myself for comfort and for relief. And another difference between this experience and the first one was I was alone this time. My first experience, I was with my brother, and he was holding space for me as I was essentially leaving my body and surrendering to the universe. So that's definitely maybe part of why I experienced what I experienced this time. So the first thing that happened after I took my initial hit is immediately my body started to feel resistance, which was a big difference from my first experience where I immediately started laughing. So this was a bad sign for me that I wasn't going to feel good during this experience. I was trying to surrender, but the thing is, I wasn't in my heart during this experience. I closed my eyes and I started seeing the fractals and the molecules that you normally see on DMT. But I wasn't in my heart, so I wasn't able to surrender and accept what the universe was showing me, what spirit was showing me. I was too much in my head and in my ego. So all the molecules, all the infinite fractals that I was being shown, my brain couldn't fathom the infinite nature that I was being shown. It's like my brain couldn't accept it. My ego could not accept what I was being shown because I wasn't in my heart to accept it. And it's like everything I was being shown felt like an attack to myself. But really, it was just an attack to my ego. My ego was resisting because what I was being shown was so infinite that it goes beyond logic. It goes beyond logic, and you have to be in your heart to accept it. And I remember my whole body tensing up. I just felt so stiff because I wanted that experience to end like right away. My ego was fighting to not surrender. The thing is, I don't remember a lot of what I was being shown during this experience because I was rejecting and resisting all of it. But a couple of things I do remember is, I remember this blue being, and it looked like he was like shoveling stuff into me, shoveling energy into me. And that also felt like an attack. It felt like I was shoveling toxins into me or something. And then I started seeing the color red. And the color red started morphing and forming these different symbols. And these symbols just felt evil to me. It felt like I was just in the deep depths of somewhere dark. And that's when a lot of fear was entering into my body and my mind, and just felt like something was after me. And this kind of connects to the root chakra, I believe, because I'm always working on grounding and balancing my root chakra, and that's where a lot of fear is stored. I was definitely not very grounded that day, so I believe that is connected to the unbalance in my energy centers. And I just wanted that experience to end. And afterwards, I was pretty shooken up. Actually, the next couple of days, I was pretty shooken up from that experience, and I just felt off and really uneasy the next couple of days. This experience definitely could be perceived as a bad trip or a bad experience, but I definitely learned something overall. I didn't actually see anything scary or experience anything that scary, but it was my own ego and resistance causing this fear and this tenseness within myself. It was my own ego creating the bad experience. So it actually taught me something. After analyzing both of my experiences, the different sides and spectrums of the polarity, and how I felt leading up to each experience, I learned something about how I energetically operate with life, and that my energy tends to ebb and flow. So there are times when I need to rest and recharge and balance my energy. And then there are times when I'm feeling light and it's time to expand my consciousness. So I know to listen to my body when I'm feeling like I need some rest and I need to go recharge in nature and recharge my mind. And that's not a good time to try to expand my consciousness through a powerful psychedelic. So my camera died during the recording of the last one, so I decided to come out here in nature and just connect a bit. Put my feet in the sand and share the rest of my experience. So, as I was thinking about both of my experiences, I started thinking about the masculine and feminine energy aspects of each experience. In my first experience, I was very balanced in both masculine and feminine energy. That's why I was very heart-centered during the experience, and why I was able to surrender and accept the information and the experience that the universe and the divine was showing me. I was able to accept what they were showing me with love and gratitude. And that's when I met the higher dimensional aspects of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. But during my second experience, I was very unbalanced. I was stuck in my masculine energy without feminine energy to balance it out. Because I needed to rest, I needed to balance myself and recharge. I was stuck in my head, letting my ego take the driver's seat. My ego was trying to control the experience. And when you try to control something, there lies resistance. I was operating only on masculine energy without any feminine energy to balance it out. So I was stuck in my head. So I learned that when I'm in this state of unbalance, needing to recenter myself, it's not a time to try to expand my consciousness and go outward. This is a time to go inward, to heal, to rebalance, recenter my energy, and become grounded again. And this helps me come back into my heart. And once I'm in my heart, then I can go out and create outwardly and expand. Because when we are in this state of resistance, what is happening is essentially we are resisting life itself. We are resisting the divine. And that blocks us from experiencing bliss, love, and the fruits of this experience. Our ego needs to take the back seat so that we can accept new energy and new information that the divine is sending us. So that we can accept a new perspective, a new experience. The ego likes to resist change. It resists new experiences because it wants to stay comfortable and safe. So our ego has to go through multiple deaths so that we can transform ourselves, so that we can experience this divine connection that is always available to us. Quieting the mind and coming into our heart. Our heart is where our masculine and feminine energy unites. This is where a union takes place. The two becoming one. Sparking our hearts with the eternal flame of consciousness. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and listening to my experiences. Subscribe to my channel, Soul Expansion, and hit that bell button if you want to hear more messages from me in the future. Peace guys, much love.